Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, why rebound dating is such a bad idea? There's a whole bunch of reasons for why rebounds are a bad idea and usually don't last very long. I'm just going to go over a few for this video. So, first and foremost, it's important to understand that we get into rebounds not from a place of love. It's usually because of fear. The reason we get into rebounds is usually because we feel empty, we are afraid of facing that emptiness, that loneliness, that pain. We're afraid of that feeling of just being not good enough, unattractive, inadequate. So it's almost like taking painkillers. It's just a very temporary mask, and it's like an ego boost. It's important to remember that let's say, for example, an ex of yours you're experiencing a breakup and your ex has gotten into a rebound. That's not a good thing for your ex. It's not something that you should be sitting around thinking, well, I am not as good as the person my ex is dating now. It's not that. Your ex isn't going to this rebound because they love that person. It's because they're in so much pain. And if anyone out there has ever experienced that emptiness, that rejection, that loneliness, even if your ex was the one who dumped you or left you, broke up with you, there's still going to be that vacuum, that emptiness, that lack. So it's usually fear that drives people into rebound relationships. The fear of facing, confronting that pain. So it's not love. When we do things in life out of fear, they usually wind up making our lives more complicated and bring more suffering into our lives. Moving and making decisions in life out of love is when you're not doing it to avoid pain, when you're not doing it to avoid fear, and it's when you're doing something that you're truly interested in, that you feel is going to bring wealth, power, strength, energy, inspiration into your life. So that's why a lot of people jump into rebounds. And it happens so quickly because the more quickly people jump into rebounds is a sign of how fragile and insecure they actually are. The quicker they jump into a rebound relationship is a sign that they're quite needy, quite fragile. And so, yeah, it's a common thing to happen after breakups. But the problem is that when you use it like a painkiller, like let's say you have back pain, chronic back pain or knee pain or whatever. As I say in a lot of my videos, pain is one of our greatest teachers in life, and physical pain is there to, it's telling you that, hey, you're doing something wrong, you're doing something incorrectly. Whether it's, if you have back pain, maybe it's telling you, hey, look, your shoes are probably not correct, or your car seat is not correct, or the way you're sleeping is not correct, or your work chair is not correct. I love sitting on the floor. I work sitting on the floor because I've experienced neck injuries, shoulder injuries through martial arts, through MMA, through jiu-jitsu, through all sorts of things. And the pain isn't something that you want to just treat with a pill. As we've all been brought up in, the last 100 years, modern society, that, hey, take a pill, but these are all products that are sold to us. The truth is that if you mask the pain, you're going to continue doing things in an incorrect way, standing in an incorrect way, walking in an incorrect way, sitting in an incorrect way, right? So pain is there to teach us a lesson. And it's the same in relationships, it's the same in anything. Emotional pain, mental suffering, depression, anxiety, all of these things are forms of pain. And it's the world, it's our own bodies, it's just existence telling us, hey, you're doing something in an incorrect way. There is room for improvement. So when I get injuries, I never use painkillers. I've very rarely used painkillers, even for their anti-inflammatory uses. I avoid them. There are plenty of natural things that I use instead. Not to mask the pain. The pain is important. The pain is how we remember and how we learn. Otherwise, if we dull the pain out, we're not going to learn anything. We're going to continue repeating the same patterns over and over again, and you can wind up, let's say if it's physical pain, you could wind up grinding your knees or, causing more severe neck or back injuries. When I got back from Thailand, I was dating someone for a long period of time, and she had issues with her spine, but was taking painkillers a lot. And that's, people get addicted to painkillers, right? But their way of life doesn't necessarily improve because of that. So it's important to note that painkillers, whether it's a rebound relationship, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, have to be used wisely. So I consider rebound dating primarily a form of pain medication. It's like a temporary fleeting ego boost. But you actually prolong your healing. True healing comes by facing the pain, listening to your body, listening to the pain, right? So if you're doing a workout or if you're training in an incorrect way, using poor technique, for example, in jiu-jitsu or fighting, fighters learn from losses, learn from mistakes. And if you don't make those mistakes, you don't feel the pain, you're not going to learn. If it doesn't hurt when you lose a fight, you're not going to have this fire lit underneath you to figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And make the adjustments in your life to alter your life's trajectory. And that's all it is. It's not about, hey, I'm going to I have to do all this work and completely change my life. No, it's just make the tiny little adjustments every day. I started working with someone recently, just a few days ago, and we're doing exactly that. Just aim for 2% change, every day. Even if it's 2% adjusting your life trajectory every week, that's fine. Time passes quickly, so it's important for us to just make some progress. Because when you make progress, even the tiniest progress is going to lead you to a totally different goal in life. So, as I always say, trust the pain, learn from the pain, and put your mind, put your intelligence, try and figure out, well, what am I doing wrong in life? And then try different things out. Try different people, try different music, spend time around different people. It's like that's a huge one. Or if it's physical pain, try different chairs. As I said, I sit on the floor. I find that it's much healthier for me than sitting on chairs. I put a little pillow just to get myself inclined a little bit, and I find that it's incredibly comfortable. I sometimes even sit on the rollers, and while I'm working, I massage and grind out knots in my lower back. So I'm hoping to eventually design some furniture, some chairs. Our entire world is it's like standardized. Standardization is when everything is manufactured at a low cost. There's no way that a company is going to come along, furniture company, and going to custom build everything just for you at this, your kitchen counter being at the right height. How unhealthy it is. Most sinks, you're going to lean over and you're kind of in this stress position. It's terrible. But thousands of years ago, or even hundreds of years ago, we were building things for ourselves, building our own chairs, custom tailoring our clothing, growing our own foods. I don't want this to go into some hippie new age way of, no, this is just, making sure that your environment suits you. If you're tall, you're going to need the door handle a bit higher. If you're not as tall, you're going to need things. So we live in a world that's not, ideal for us. So it's important when you're going out there to pick things with that in mind. Pick your house, pick your furniture, pick your friends, pick your music. Okay? And a big part of that is going to be not caring what other people think, not being a sheep. Bringing the best into your life. Anyway, without going off topic, let's go back towards why rebound datings are not a good idea, okay? See, a big reason for why rebounds fail is that the people who engage in them, what they're not doing is they're not allowing themselves to heal properly. And no one will ever be exactly the same as another person. So let's use the metaphor of taste and smell and as a configuration for a person. Everyone's got a unique taste. Everyone's got a unique color. Everyone's got a unique shape, let's say, right? Everyone's got a unique fingerprint. So you're never going to find a replacement for someone else. And even if your ex was abusive and terrible and toxic and just someone who was just horrible, we see all the time, right? People who are in physically abusive relationships or mentally abusive relationships, but they stay in them. Why? Because it becomes a habit. They become addicted and dependent and used to that particular flavor, and they want it. There are people out there who get addicted to cutting themselves. There are people out there who get addicted to snake venom. They just wind up putting snake venom taking it, and they just love that unique pain that it gives them. There are people out there, as we know, who are addicted to heroin, but there's all sorts of toxic, painful, wrong, things that we can get addicted to, and it's just addiction. We love that taste. We love that particular type of stimulation that comes with it. And so when we go through a breakup and we no longer have that unique person, whether they were right or good or bad or wrong for us or healthy for us or not, there's no one that's going to replace that person. So the rebound relationship isn't going to be the same. So it's not going to last. At the end of the day, as far as I am aware and I have learned and I have experienced through everyday sessions, through my own life experiences, through experiences with my friends, helping my friends and family and whatnot, the best way to heal up is just to have me time, to have time for yourself, because a breakup, the pain from a breakup, the withdrawal, is like a wound. And like as I said, that wound is going to be in a very unique shape according to what your ex was. Nothing on earth will be able to be the exact shape of that person. So the only way is to give yourself time so that that wound, just like a physical wound, will shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. And eventually it will heal up. Okay, and a lot of people sometimes worry and stress out about, well, why I'm still thinking of my ex. Well, that will eventually fade out as well, like a scar. But thinking about your ex isn't a bad thing. Our objective should be for the initial phases is to become functional again, to get back to work, to be able to laugh again, to be able to enjoy life again, to be able to train again, to get back to life. And the problem is that if we do not move forward and we don't go, do the correct things to heal up, the thoughts will continue to trigger emotions. Thoughts are fine, but when they're triggering emotions and we lose our clear thinking, that's when we lose our functionality. We're not able to function in life as well as we'd want to and enjoy life. But thoughts that don't trigger emotions are fine. They're just thoughts. I think about Arnold Schwarzenegger from time to time. Doesn't mean that I'm attached to him. Doesn't mean that he's, someone I can't let go of. I think of Donald Trump from time to time. I think of, anything or anyone from time to time. So yes, you're going to have thoughts of someone that you've been in a strong, intimate relationship with, and those thoughts may linger for a while. But that's not a bad thing. The goal shouldn't be to I don't want to ever think about a person again. You're going to think about a ton of things every day. Thoughts are fine. Thoughts are okay. It's just when those thoughts are dominating and controlling that it becomes, a nuisance and something that we want to get rid of. And that takes, as I said, me time. It takes healing time. It takes you facing your depression. Face the pain, as I said at the beginning of this video. Learn from the pain and then make the adjustments in your life. Know that, hey, well, you know what? There's a reason it didn't work out between us and we kept banging heads. A common thing I see almost every day in my sessions with people is high chemistry with people, but low compatibility. Okay? Chemistry and compatibility are very important factors for a healthy relationship. The chemistry is this like the spice and the excitement of the relationship, and the compatibility is what keeps it going for a long time, gives it that whatever the word is, gives it that fuel, that drive, makes it something long lasting. So I see a lot of high compatibility, in other words, high excitement, high stimulation. It's usually sexual chemistry. Okay, and it keeps bringing people back, but then it's the compatibility that, boom, bangs heads and splits people up again. But then after a while, that chemistry reattracts and then bangs, and it's just a constant. It's like that. It's a hot-cold relationship, an on-off relationship, right? Or otherwise known as a love-hate relationship. Okay. So adjustments need to be made, whether it's find someone more compatible or, make the changes, I, from experience, have found that it's difficult for people to make the changes, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And this brings me to, let's say, the final point for now, which is, if you go into a relationship unhealed, still with baggage, like you go straight into a rebound, the chances are high that you're going to be bringing that toxicity into your new relationship. And because you're still configured in a fearful way, out of fear and in a toxic way, you're probably going to bring the worst out of your new relationship, or you're probably going to turn your new relationship into your ex. You're going to try to turn them into your ex as much as you can, because that's what you need. That's how you've been configured. You've been configured in a certain shape, whatever it is, and you're going to need the compatible shape. The shape that, whether it's the chemistry, the compatibility, whatever it is, and you can force that out of your new relationship. And again, going back to a client that I just started working with a few days ago, I can see that in our sessions, that because he was with a toxic person for a year, she's brought her toxicity into him and out of him. And that's why we can sometimes behave in a way that we're like, well, this isn't me. This isn't who I am. And another person can just turn you into someone that you're not. Why? Because every day, if you're spending time with them, they're going to imprint something onto you. It's not that they're going to turn you into them, but they're more than likely going to turn you into their ex. So if they were with an abusive ex, they could turn you into an abusive partner. It gets deep and complex, but it is. I find all of this stuff incredibly fascinating. But it's important not to just be aware of all this stuff. It's important to use this knowledge, to avoid getting into relationships that are going to be toxic, to spot the signs quickly, to avoid getting into a rebound relationship, and instead spending that time, having that courage to heal up organically, naturally, in a healthy way. And then once you've healed that wound, it doesn't have to even heal 100%, but just get a handle on it. Once you get a handle on it, it will continue to heal. But you don't have to be 100% healed to go back into jiu-jitsu, but you don't want to have a broken arm and go in there. You're going to mess your arm up for life. And that's what a lot of people do when they jump into rebounds. They can wind up messing themselves up, for a very long period of time. And then they wind up with not just having to heal themselves from their original breakup, but when their rebound fails, and 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 rebounds will fail, whether it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, or even a year, they will fail. They usually fail. When that happens, they are going to wind up having to heal from that relationship and their original breakup that they haven't dealt with. So nature always is fair and is balanced. And if you go through that pain, if you face the pain, if you face the depression, yes, it could take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. But if you face it, feel it, cry, vent, be angry, release your anger in a productive, creative way. If you can just go through that, you're going to allow yourself to heal up properly, and then you're going to get back in the game again, quickly, much more quickly than someone who goes for that quick option of short-term happiness, but long-term misery. Right? So I hope there's something in here that helps. I'm going to be doing more audio downloads soon. So I'm going to create a Bandcamp page, and I'm going to start doing little talks and short little downloadable audio versions of some of these videos, so that people can, you'll be able to play them for free, download them. If you want to, and they'll be higher quality, and perhaps some people might prefer it that way. All right, everybody. Hope everyone out there is doing really well. And the winter months are coming now. We're in November, so look ahead and prepare. All right, November, December. Something funny about December seems to be like one of the notoriously high amount of breakups going on. November, December time. So. And also winter times can be gloomy sometimes, and darker, shorter days, etc., etc. So plan ahead. Make sure that you know that, okay, for the next few months I'm going to be doing the gym or start a new hobby or whatever it is to keep you occupied, to keep yourself energized, inspired, motivated, feeling powerful, so that you can go through the next 3 months. It's this. I love Christmas. I love the winter months. It's for me like it's my creativity, height of creativity. I kind of like go in my cave, and at the moment I've been taking a little bit of a break from all of this because I'm getting back into music, writing an album at the moment, trying to finish working on an album, and I have goals to try and get it done by March. So. Similarly out there, make a big list of all the things that you enjoy doing in life, all the activities, whether it's shopping, whether it's taking a shower, cleaning up, going to the gym, listening to music, whatever it is, make a long, long list, and that's going to be your resource of, well, if you have downtime or whatever, draw from that list and keep coming up with goals always. Life goals are keep us moving forward, keep us interested. And of course, lastly, don't ever forget to every day, every moment, practice gratitude. I'm so grateful for this, for that. And remember, comparing causes pain. When we compare our life with the life of others, or comparing in any way, it affects us. But be smart and use your wisdom to understand that you can use comparing in a way that helps you. So compare yourself with people with a situation that could be worse. If you're going through a breakup, I tell a lot of the people I work with, well, hey, imagine that you had children, or you had a house together, or you had, all of this. Be grateful that it's not like that you're free. Or if you do have a house, if you do have children, if you do work with each other, I get that question a lot. I need to make a video about that. But if you are in those situations, well, then think that how could it be worse? Because you know what? Things can always get worse. They always can be worse. I think we all know that. So use comparing in the right way. Use your mind in the right way. Okay? And sending everybody out there all the very best. Adios for now. Bye.